Hello, fellow people. Today is day something. I have no idea. I think it's 35, could be 34. I don't know. My head is just at 100% capacity, just done, too much information, complete shut off time. So I'm vlogging quick, and then I'm gonna go have some ice cream because it's dinner time and I just want ice cream instead of dinner. I have a lot of specifics to share with you, and I just don't have the bandwidth today to actually get into all of them with you. But I have till next Friday to share them, so I will do that. Lots of information to share. Today I'm just going to focus on random things that I just have to share. One is I just came back from getting my hair colored, and she did such a phenomenal job on my hair color. I got this little light sunshiny thingy going, and like the layers are in there, so I had little flippity flips, and I just feel like a ray of sunshine on my head, you know? And I have my work clothes on, and I don't need the world knowing where I work in every little detail of my life. So I don't like doing these if I have my work shirt on, which is why I put on my pleather jacket, because it makes me feel badass. And yeah, I feel like, what was her name on Happy Days? Pinky Tuscarello or something. That's who I feel like. I have like the pink nails with, you know, with my crystal ring. It's not diamonds, by the way. It was like 20 bucks. My crystal ring on my middle finger, and my pleather jacket, whatever, you know, my nice calm scene in the background, whatever, and my plethora of pillows. That day that I was talking about a while ago where I went to Home Goods to buy water, and like, this is what I left with. See all those pillows? It goes like freaking 6 pillows deep. But they're pretty. Well, here, let me share. So I have the pink one that feels nice. Well, it feels weird if you go this way, but it feels nice if you go that way. And it's pink, and we all know we're trying to like love the color pink. This purple one I've had for a while anyway. But then I got these guys, which actually weirdly remind me of the ceiling in my house when I was growing up. We had wallpaper. I'm looking over there. We had wallpaper on the ceiling in my house when I was growing up as a kid. And and then it was painted over white. I think it used to be like white and brown or something, and then my dad painted over it white. So people thought it was kind of weird to have wallpaper on your ceiling. But like when I lay on the couch and look up, I always saw the same, like the patterns, like of what's on this pillow. And it just reminds me of that. So I'd like to have some nostalgia in the time of, you know, crazy right now. So I really like my pillows. And I could just like sit back, text the tacos down there. I'm not going to get them because I'm just too tired. So overview of today, I had just way too many phone calls, to the point that like my tongue actually feels swollen to me. Not from like an allergic thing. I've been talking so much. And the vlogs are one thing. They help me out. I'm not going to stop doing that. But I've been talking so much that my tongue has been hurting for about a week. It just feels like too big to be in my mouth. There's nothing wrong. I'm just talking way too much. I have a ridiculous amount of phone calls, you know, from doctors about appointments, learning new things, asking questions, people asking how I'm doing. It's just a lot. And then like with work, I've been Zooming and recording stuff so that I can train the person that's coming to fill in for me. And my job incorporates a lot of moving pieces. You know, like when like you're a kid and you're like, I'm not quite sure what my parent does for a living. That's kind of what my job is. People think that they think I don't work where I work anymore because I used to anchor the news there. And that was a volunteer thing. I never got paid for that. People think that was my job, but that's not my job. I'm an administrator, which sounds like a super vague thing. And the reason it's so vague is because it covers quite a lot of stuff. There's HR, there's financial stuff, there's governmental stuff. I get to find about like all the new rules that are coming out with COVID from Governor Baker, and there's like a ton, tax rates, and it's a lot. But I don't want to talk a lot today. I need to give my body a break. I was not going to not vlog, because I'm anal retentive and like to make sure everything gets done chronologically. And my hair looked way too cool to not record today at all. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? She did such a good job. And I do have makeup on today, though I had a mask on pretty much all day long, so from here down might be kind of smeared. So an overview of the day. I can't get into logistics because it's just too much. That whole pile of papers that's sitting on top of my printer right now, like, that stuff I have to read. And I haven't even finished printing out all the messages that have been coming in from the gateway. So a brief overview of what I can remember. I had a phone call first thing this morning, I let my son's key people at school know what was going on. So I had a phone call that was supposed to be longer than 15 minutes, but 15 minutes into it, I got a phone call from, guess where? Newton. They're so great there, and I'm so sick of getting phone calls that say Newton. And I'm like, because I know that just means it's something to do. Not that there's something wrong, it's just information. It's a lot, but they're so good. They are so good there. So that cut off the conversation I was having before about my son. And then I don't even know how long I was on the phone for. But the point of that phone call was about the pre-op stuff from the plastic surgeon side. Again, I can't even remember all the content. It's sitting on the printer and I will get to it. Then went to work, had a 2-hour Zoom where again I was talking the whole time. It was a good day at work. It felt normal, like to be physically at the studio and having someone come in besides the people that work there. And that's one of the biggest things I love about my job is like you just never know who's going to walk through the door, and you get to meet some really cool people. Even if they're like doing work for the station or volunteering or whatever, I just like meeting new people and hearing their stories. And then after that, I met with the reverend at the church that I go to. I kind of go to one church. I'm a member at the Unitarian Church. So I grew up Lutheran, and my ex-husband is Jewish. And our kids are kind of neither, which is less weird living in Massachusetts because there's a lot of people that are openly atheist or agnostic. I think maybe because there's so many colleges here and very scientific mathematical people here. Where I grew up, I feel like if you said you were atheist, everyone would go like, but that's not so much the case in Massachusetts, and partly, I guess, because of it being 2021 and not like 1972. But anyway, I went to the church, and it is Unitarian, and I had a really good talk with the minister there just to fill her in on stuff, and just she just has a very warm, fuzzy vibe about her, and I never really sat down to talk with her one-on-one. There was 2 ministers there. The other one who'd been there for a very, very long time just retired. And I know I could always count on him for like a witty comment or, some sort of, not sarcasm, it's just that he would he has a spring in his step when it comes to his sermons, which I like about the Unitarian Universalist, I guess, way of being, stepping outside of the norm. So I had a good talk with her for almost an hour, and then I sat in the sanctuary, which just in the term sanctuary, I'm like, right now I need sanctuary. Like, please, I don't want to take any phone calls. I don't want to talk about the C word. I just want to just be in a quiet place. And the building that it's in is very, very, very old. And it was weird because I haven't been inside of the church since, or is it not a church? I think it's a church. Chapel? I don't know. My head's fried. I haven't been inside of there since COVID. Because when I walked in and I went to go to her office, I noticed that there's like a long row where people hang up their coats. And it's a very well attended church. So usually when I go there for services, when I go in, I go to hang up my coat, and I always have to find a spot to put my coat in because there's a lot of people there. And it was just really weird walking in. And granted, it's like what's today? I don't even know. I think it's Thursday. It's not Sunday is my point. But there was not one coat on the rack, which was just kind of a reminder that we're still in this pandemic because there's no coats on the rack. And it's 97 degrees outside, but regardless, there's nothing on the rack. Like, there's no people in the church except for, I think, 2 people that were there. No congregants is what I mean. But like I said, after we talked, I went in the actual sanctuary, and the floor creaks when you walk in. It's an older church, and it just has a smell to it. A smell of like familiarity and normalcy. And you know, you walk and you hear the creaks, and the creaks are like, yeah, it's an older church. Almost like the creaks you'd have, like, you know, like in your grandma's home or something. It just reminds you of like warmth and I guess in history in a way that, like, how many people have walked on this floor over the life of this building, and all the stories of the people that have walked in that room, in that sanctuary, and also that they've been through, and why people go in a sanctuary when no one else is there, and what kinds of things they pray for or ask for. And there's a huge clock against the back wall, and it's so quiet, and you just hear like click, click. It's not really like a tick, it's a heavier tick, but you just hear like the click, 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 click. And I noticed that it said it was 10:30. And I'm like, either we've missed a whole lot of daylight savings times or the clock is broken and I just never noticed. But there's a calmness to hearing the clock tick, because it's like, no matter what happens, that won't ever change. Like, time is still going to go on. The clock is still going to tick. Seconds are still going to keep happening. You know, nothing's going to stop that. As much as, you know, things fall into your lap or things happen that are unexpected, the clock keeps ticking. And for me, it's just a reminder of normalcy. I could get into a whole thing of, yes, we keep going, but that's not where I was thinking. It was just more like, it's reliable. That no matter what, it's going to keep going. And if the batteries die, or I don't even know how it's run, but they would figure it out to have it keep going. So I sat in the second pew, which I never sit in the second pew. Whenever I'm there, I'm one of the people that like sit in the back or in the corner. And I sat in the second pew, and again, it's Unitarian. It's not like a Catholic church where there's a bench to kneel on or whatever. And that's not even what I wanted. And I just, like, I just, you know, crossed my hands together and put my head down and just leaned against the first pew and just prayed. And it's okay to pray in a Unitarian Universalist church. And I prayed and just asked that, like, I know I'm not alone. I'm vlogging right now. Can you come back in a few minutes?
Yeah, here's your stuff.
Thank you. Yeah, I know I'm not alone. And my relationship with faith, I still feel like if I'm not physically in a church, it's different with me acknowledging my faith and feeling, you know, an existence of a higher being and all that. I feel more connected to it myself when I'm physically in that environment. whether it's a church or a cemetery or someone who's very in touch with their faith, talking to me or praying for me. And I just prayed that I need my loved ones to be around me right now. And I think, specifically for that church, probably for most every of the people that have passed away since COVID started, the life of the church itself and the people that go to it. Of course, I have to think of, like, here's the church and here's the steeple, and open the church and see all the people. It just popped into my head. But the people have all their stories, and some are still here and some are up in heaven. And I truly believe myself that, people that are up in heaven, the people that I know that were important in my life, are looking over me. And when I close my eyes there and I pray like that, I can feel it. I get goosebumps and I can feel the warmth around me. On a side note, like, I do read tarot cards and that kind of thing. That's a whole other conversation for a time. If I ever meet you in person, we'll go out for a beer and I'll read your cards for you. But I do believe in, angels being around you and asking for them to be around to guide you and be there for you. And even as I say that right now, I can feel like the back of my upper, my shoulder blades getting warm right now, which is kind of freaking me out, but in a good way. That I feel like it's almost like you're getting a very gentle hug from someone that's like an angel, someone that you love that's passed away and is looking over you, telling you, like, it's gonna be okay. And while all this is just so much, like, they have my back. And that's where I physically feel it. I feel it in my back, which is so symbolic for me, that they have my back. That even though, like, my one aunt who I loved her to pieces, and she passed away in October of last year. And she would be the perfect person for me to call and be like, please make me laugh. Please say something inappropriate. And I know that she loves me and she like nurtures me, and she's not here for me to talk to. And I don't know if that's her that's wrapping herself around me, or my uncles. Like, my 3 favorite uncles have now passed. Maybe that's them, I don't know. But that's what I believe in. Like, they're here with me. And I feel it. It's weird because I feel that energy in my room and in my hallway. I don't feel it anyplace else in my apartment. And it's not a bad energy. It's a good energy. My old house I used to live in, that had some bad energy. And not because of, like, personal stuff. Like, there was some bad, like, spiritual energy there. No good. But not here. I feel safe here. I'm very protective of my apartment. So I left there feeling like, okay, went to get my hair cut. Not really cut, just colored, just touched up, because I didn't want to have gray roots going into surgery. I wanted to be, like, vibrant and woohoo, look how fun. Last year I had purple hair this time of year, which, by the way, is fun, but makes for very messy showers. And I just wanted to sit and relax. Like, the woman who does my hair, she's been doing my hair for 10 years, something like that. And I can just trust that I just sit back and she'll know what I want with my hair before even I do. And it turned out just perfect. It's even weird as I see my reflection in my I have a full-length mirror in the corner of my room, and I can see myself right now, like my reflection. And, like, the tripod doesn't look so weird because I film myself all the time for, like, stuff for my shows and for the news, whatever. But to see myself, like, filming because I have breast cancer, I Like, where did that come from? And when I saw my hairdresser and she's like, what the heck? I'm like, I don't know. Did you feel a lump? No. Did you, the typical things you'd ask? No. Shit just happens sometimes. And like, as a big picture thing, I know I'm gonna be okay. It's not even like, I feel like it's, oh, by the way, I'm also having surgery. It's not even so much that, it's all the other stuff that goes with it. The constant phone calls, the constant talking, the constant things that you're learning, and like decisions you have to make, and things you have to put into place, especially as like being a single parent. It's a lot. It's just your mind, there's only so much your mind can handle, which is why I'm doing this now, because I can't be doing this at night anymore. The lighting's not as good for my cool hair. Come on, that's pretty cool. Look at that. Isn't that fall really cool? And it's still like dark here. So it's like I'm still a badass. And I'm bright and sunny. Very much my personality. I got my good earrings on today. I have my bracelets on today. But yeah, I got a ton of phone calls. And what I will say about the phone calls is they requested, or not, it wasn't a request. They told me I have to get two more tests done and touch base with a cardiologist. I have to have cardiologist clearing before I go for my surgery. I have no heart issues. I have FMD, but that's not a heart thing. And I don't have FMD in my, what are they called? What are the blood vessels that go to your heart called? I can't even think. Oh my God. Aortal? Oh my God. I can't even think what they're called. I have no idea. Whatever. Anyway, I don't have FMD, as far as I know, in any vessels or in any arteries dealing with my heart. It's my neck and my renals, and those have been fine. And some in my, like, I got two chronic dissections I've had for a long time in my upper GI area. But nothing with my heart. I feel like a moron that I can't think of what the adjective is for a heart-related thing. It should be cardi something. I don't really care. Sometimes you just gotta be stupid. I can't think of it. But I was wondering, like, is something wrong that I'm not aware is wrong? And of course my head's like, and it's taking away from the fact of me having my hair all prettified, whatever. And then when I was done with the hair appointment, I sat and I called the nurse, or she called me, I think, and left a voicemail. I'm like, I can't answer another phone call. I know it says Newton. I'm like, I can't answer it. I flipped it over and I put it to the side, and I'm like, they can leave a voicemail and I'll deal with it tomorrow, because I just can't take any more information. I can't, as much as I want to know why, like, I just can't process any more information. But I did call her back after I was done with my haircut appointment, and I asked why they were doing all this, like, heart stuff. And she said it was because I had COVID. And I'm like, damn. I wasn't hospitalized for COVID at all. I was, like, in not great shape. Like, it was tough. I had COVID pretty bad, but not to the point that I had to go to a hospital. I did go for, maybe that's what, because they said I had a cardiologist. I'm like, I do? I don't remember having a cardiologist, but maybe I saw a cardiologist after I had COVID, because I said, like, I wanted to make sure that I didn't have pneumonia, but that's your lungs. Anyway, but having COVID can cause your heart to enlarge. Again, I'm just hearing this from other people's stories. This is not my situation. They're just covering their butts that, yes, I had COVID. I think no matter what, if anyone had COVID and they're going to surgery, they'd check your heart, which makes sense. It makes me feel less abnormal that I'm like, okay, I had COVID, sure. So did however many millions of people. So that's why they're running those extra tests. So they're running an EKG tomorrow morning at 7:45. I thought I was going to be able to sleep in tomorrow, but now I can't. I had to push back my work Zooms because I have this EKG. They're doing an echocardiogram next week. And then I have to, again, get clearance from the cardiologist that I have that I don't even know who this person is, which I guess is a good sign, because if there was something wrong with my heart, I would remember who my cardiologist is. But the echocardiogram is next Wednesday, and I'm like, surgery is Friday. I don't want to push it off again. They're not going to push it off again. The cardiologist will call back, hopefully tomorrow, or call and say whatever they have to say. But I feel that's abnormal because of the COVID thing. I mean, I do have chest pain still sometimes, mostly from too much talking, which is why I'm cutting this off. I can't go more than a half hour because my voice needs a break. Even though I say that all the time. No, but really, I can't go long. Yeah, they'll check for this stuff and just something added to the mix because of COVID. But yeah, I get chest pains sometimes if I'm talking for long periods of time. If I exercise too hard, but I don't really, even like for an hour of vigorous tennis playing, not that I really play that vigorously, but if my face is all red and hot and I know that my heart rate's super high because I'm working hard, my chest doesn't hurt from that. It's mostly from too much talking. It just, like right now, it just gets scratchy. And I just take it easy for like an hour and then I'm fine. That and the fact that my taste is not there 100% are the only lingering things that I can think of that I still have from COVID. And the weird side effect that I get bitten by mosquitoes, not as much as I used to, but they don't really make me itch. Or I should say not at all, but significantly less than they used to when I was, like if I would outside, other people are getting bitten and I'm just like, I see one and I just go like this or something and then I'm fine. No idea what that has to do with anything, but it's a really weird thing that I've noticed since I had COVID. Yeah, so that brought me back home and here I am. I don't know what's happening outside the door with the kids. And I'm gonna go have ice cream at 5:30. Well, gelato. Ice cream doesn't usually sit well with me. Well, sun does, but gelato sits better with me. And I'm gonna watch reality TV, which I enjoy watching because it's not my reality. Let me watch someone else's drama. It'll take my mind off of my own. And chill with the kids when they get home. So I'll share more details just as a precursor. I have a pile of stuff there and more to print out that I'm more than happy to share with you about details of stuff. But I can't do that today because I am full of information and my chest hurts. So time for Jen timeout. See you later.